My last vlog, I did a month-end recap for June, and something that I saw when another store owner, Rouse Bricks, was doing his month-end recap really inspired me to kind of take a deeper dive into my inventory. So I kind of wanted to take a moment and um, show everybody kind of what my inventory status looks like. Some things that I'll be tracking and probably adding in to the month-end recaps for the months going forward. So this is sort of an adder, if you will, to the month-end recap that I just did in my last vlog. So I'm going to show you what I came up with and how I'm kind of looking at my inventory and where the direction of this particular segment will be going. So let's get into it. First, we'll talk about pieces uploaded. Looks like last month I uploaded only 8,400 pieces, which was a little bit more than May, but April was a really big jump, and you can kind of see that over here. April was a big jump, and most of that was due to new. Up until then, I had been only uploading used pieces into my store and just started getting into adding new parts into my inventory in April. And I did a lot here in April and have kind of slowly tapered it off. And you can see that in June, most of my inventory that was uploaded was used parts. That's kind of been the formula that I've been using for my store. It's about 68% used and 32% new, so about a third of my parts were new. But to year to date, through the end of June, most of my inventory that has been uploaded has been new, and that is due to the big push that I did in April. So sitting at 2,700 pieces new that were uploaded in June, 5,700 pieces uploaded in that were used in June. Gives a total of about 8,500 parts. So that brings me to the end of month when I closed out June. The pieces that I had, my on-hand quantity, the OHQ on-hand quantity here, I was looking at sitting on 36,435 total pieces. You can see the breakdown here. 41% of the parts were used and 60% of them were new. So my inventory is still, slightly heavy on the new side, which isn't a bad thing at all. It's definitely a lot easier to upload new parts than it is used. There's a lot more labor and time that goes into, uploading, sorting, washing used pieces. There's a lot of research behind it that you have to do. So you can see that last month I kind of mimicked my year-to-date numbers here. Now, keep in mind that I had not been tracking this, up until the end of May, and these numbers here are really just kind of, it's a swag. It's a scientific wild-ass guess of where I was at. So I kind of dug through a few things and realized I was probably sitting around 19,000 and 11,000 respectively when I closed out May. So I did make a gain of about 6,000 pieces for the month ending in June. Now lots, on the other hand, taking a look at the lots, you can see here that I've got some data here that I've been tracking. I was able to dig out, parse out from some other records that I've been keeping. So lots, it looks like, last month, 3/4 of my inventory that was uploaded from a lot perspective was used. And that kind of coincides with what we saw on the piece side, which was about 68%, and a quarter of that was new. You can see here that my lots have grown significantly over the past 3 months. I ended June with about 2,235 lots uploaded. So that's not bad. I was actually feeling pretty good about that. Looks like month over month, the focuses that I've been putting on the store, the inventory, the time, it's really starting to show dividends here. So my lot is growing, which brings me to the on-hand quantity, so the lots that I have at the end of the month. Respectively, it's last month, my lot count is sitting about 3/4 is used, and 1/4 of the lots in my store are new. I hadn't been tracking the end of month on-hand quantity for lots previously, so a lot of zeros. I did not take a guess for May. I didn't have enough information to really give me a good number here, so I just left it zeros, and I'm going to start tracking this as of June. So ended the month with 4,800 lots in my store. 1,149 of those are new lots, 3,886 are used lots. Another thing that I looked at was the aging of my inventory. As I was putting those charts together, I started thinking about other ways I could look at my inventory. And one thing I did want to look at was the aging. So I really wanted to take a snapshot at the end of June of what does my, is my inventory moving? Are the parts that I am, uploading into the store, are they selling? And I was really pleased to see this. I feel really good about this. Here's when I started the store officially back in September of 2020. And the inventory that I had been putting in, it looks like it's moving. I've really only got, a handful, very low numbers of inventory that hasn't really sold. So, it looks like most of my inventory that I've, uploaded is still, it's, about 3 months or newer. So it's pretty fresh inventory. I feel really good about that. I feel good that the inventory is moving, the pieces are moving. This right here is going to prompt me to take a look at what's not moving, and I will have to sit down and make some decisions on how do I want to handle that. Do I want to drop the price on some of these parts that they just haven't moved, they've been sitting there? What are they? Is there really a big demand for those? And you can see here that the lots respectively that have been uploaded are moving as well. So we've got some parts down here. I'm gonna parse those out here sometime, this month likely. I'll be parsing this inventory out, doing an analysis on it, seeing what's there, and make some decisions, whether those decisions are executed this month or executed it once the inventory is a year old. I'm not quite sure yet. Those are things I'm going to have to figure out. But I am going to start keeping an eye on my inventory aging. So something pretty interesting to me. I think it might be interesting to other BrickLink store owners out there. If they haven't looked at their inventory from this perspective, it's worth a look. It's really interesting to me to see what am I uploading that's not moving. And then I can really hone in and develop some strategies around that about moving the inventory, because I need to remember that my store, my bins, I've only got a finite number of bins. I don't have an unlimited number of bins to just keep adding and adding inventory. So I need to make sure that I'm freeing up bins so I can refill them with fresh inventory. And right now, this inventory that has been sitting and not moving is taking up bin space. So I'm definitely going to be taking a look at that in coming vlogs and how I'm going to handle that. So pretty exciting stuff there. Another thing I wanted to look at that was, really inspired me from watching Ralph's Bricks end of month summary is, looking at the colors. So kind of what I did here is I looked at the colors that sold last month. So this is the colors from popularity on down, sorted by popularity, and the piece count that sold last month. And as all BrickLink store owners know out there, your most popular colors are going to be your light bluish gray, dark bluish gray, black, white. Those are usually your top 4. Maybe not necessarily in this order, but you will always see, I'm not going to say always, you will most likely see these at the top every month. They're very popular colors. They move very quickly. So what I did is I looked at the pieces that were sold last month, and my current inventory on hand. So the pieces that I have on hand in these colors, what do I have right now? And I really wanted to take a look to see, do I have the right mix of colors in my inventory to meet the demand out there from the customers? And I developed a ratio over here that kind of gave me, is it a 1-to-1, is it a 2.6 to 1? Where's my inventory sitting versus what sold last month from a ratio perspective, to give me an indicator that, hey, this piece is, this color's really moving. This is a color that's very popular. So looking at the volume, looking at, the popularity of the color, looking at my inventory, do I have enough to meet them? And, light bluish gray is a 1-to-1 ratio pretty much. I mean, sold 2,385 pieces in that color last month, and I've got 2,500 pieces on hand. You can see over here that, this blue bar here is the inventory that I have on hand, and the green bar is this pieces that sold in the month of June. And it's really close. So my inventory right now is saying that I've got enough to at least meet the same demand that I had in June. Now, remember, this is from a color perspective. It's not from a part perspective, because parts have a lot of influence on this as well. So I will likely be doing a similar analysis on my inventory from a part perspective. What are the most popular parts? How is that moving? How's my current inventory look to be able to support what the customer base is looking for? So going down some of these colors, light bluish gray, I kind of consider this on the edge. It's a 1-to-1. I'd really like to see this more around of a 2-to-1 ratio, at least that minimum 2-to-1 ratio. So that's right on the edge. Black, it looks like I have a 2.6 to 1. I got about 5,300 pieces in inventory. I sold 2,000 last month. So I feel like I'm sitting pretty good from a color perspective with that color. Dark bluish gray, about 1.5, not great, but a lot better than my light bluish gray ratio. So, I was going down through here, and, tan, for example, let's look at tan. It was from my store's perspective in the sales that I had, tan was a moderately popular color. I think it came in, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Came in 7th most popular color sold out of my store last month. But I've got enough to support 6 times that demand from June in my inventory right now. So is that a little heavy? I don't know. And I'll get to that here in a second, why I say that and why I ask that question. Is it a little heavy? Blue's looking good. Yellow's very similar position as tan. One of the top 10 popular colors, but I've got a lot of inventory here. So that's telling me that the inventory that I am uploading, there's a few things that I need to ask myself. Am I uploading too much of this color? Is the price for this color too high? Is it just not the demand? Is just not there for this color? And so that's going to lead me to make decisions and develop strategies on how do I want to help move this, because, again, getting to what I discussed earlier with the aging is, I don't want these parts sitting around in my bins. If the parts sitting, you're not making money. You're not developing revenue. So I really have to ask myself, what am I going to do about this? And another thing is the time that I'm spending on uploading yellows and tans, which are very heavy right now. Is that taking away from time that I could be spent focused on these colors up here that have a much lower ratio and a much higher popularity? So really interesting stuff. Looking at this ratio here, this right here, medium Missouri, I really want to point this out, is that I sold 139 pieces. So, it was a more popular color. It was definitely in the top 20. But right now my inventory is showing that I only have 109 pieces in that color, which says that I can't even meet the demand that I had last month. So if I expect to help grow this business, and really want to make sure that I'm offering everything I can, I'm not sitting really well with this color. So again, that begs the question: how do I adjust my processes, my focuses, and my strategies on my inventory upload, my inventory management, to help drive this number up. So again, are these colors priced too low? Again, I'll also have to take into account the parts. So I will be doing a deeper dive into my inventory from this perspective, looking at the color and doing a deeper dive into the parts. So kind of look forward to the recap for July. I'll likely have an analysis done where I've looked at my inventory from a part number, an item ID perspective. Very similar. So more good stuff to come in regards to inventory. So that's the sort of the adder that I wanted to put out there for you guys, talking about my inventory, the month-end recap for June, and I will be adding a segment of my inventory into every month-end recap going forward. So look forward to seeing the July month-end recap. Everyone for watching. I hope that this vlog lent some sort of perspective on my inventory, how I approach looking at it, things that I'm doing, or at least ways that I'm looking at it to help drive some decisions I'm going to make, going forward, with how my processes are structured, how can I change them to support driving to the end goals I need for my inventory, from a color perspective, from an inventory management perspective, a volume perspective. So really interesting things to me. I hope other people out there find this interesting enough to inspire them to take a look at their own inventory. And if you're a new BrickLink store owner just starting out, maybe it'll help you to incorporate some of this into your processes at an early stage. So that way you've got sort of a leg up, and it'll help get you to that level a lot faster and help grow your business much faster. Thanks again, and we look forward to seeing you on the next vlog. If you like this, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for notifications on future vlogs.